Got the transmission back. Wasn't able to film any of it because I had transportation issues. My truck was in the shop, had no way to get over there to record Kevin doing my transmission for me. So I got it back. Now we're finna unwrap this thing. My son's heading this way to help me put it in. Getting ready to open it up and get it ready to put in. But first I gotta put back in the clutch and get that puppy back in, and then we're gonna get the transmission slapped back in there, and I'm gonna try to drive this thing to work today, tell you the truth. But let's get this thing opened up. Well, there it is. Yeah, remember the bushing that I said was all broken up? There's another one that came in that the kit from LMR and the transmission rebuild kit. They sent me another one of those. So everything's back together. He said it was all nice and tight. So oh yeah. Well, first let's get that clutch and everything back in, and hopefully by the time he gets here, I'll be ready for him to help me pick this thing up and get it put in. About to start putting this thing together without filming it. But I got my plate installed. I got my flywheel mounted. I just gotta get it put on, torque down. You definitely got to pay attention to where the way you took it, the flywheel off, because these holes are a little bit off. A couple of these holes are a little bit offset, and it allows you to put it back on the same way you took it off. Just found that out. I did mark top up here though. Well, as you can see, my son got here. He's gonna help me go ahead and get this thing in, but one more thing I gotta put in is the bell housing. Then he's gonna be the muscle basically to help me put this thing in, or at least hold the jack, or just to help me with it, get this thing lifted up. Because this thing is a beast to get in there by yourself if you don't have that much space to work with. But luckily I got a little bit of help, and we're gonna make this thing happen. Me and my son got the transmission mounted. I waited till the next day, today, to torque everything down and put the transmission cross member back in and all that good stuff. I got to listening to some music and started working, and then before I realized that I wasn't filming any of this once again. But this is what I got so far. Transmission cross member in. See, the transmission is mounted and it is torqued. I haven't put the rear, the backup lights. I haven't connected the backup lights yet and put my speedo gear in. It's still hanging out. But I'm gonna stick that in a minute and go ahead and stick the drive shaft in and the exhaust. I'm gonna bore you with the details of that. I'm gonna show you the finished product when I get done with it. You remember when I took this apart originally, that the bolt, I told you I had destroyed it, taking it out? But what I decided to do, I'm gonna replace those screws that they gave me with some bolts of my own. And actually I'm gonna put a nut on the end of them just to help secure it. Because the only thing that other one did, it just screwed in to this base right here. You can see it's all threaded. I usually put mine on the bottom too, just so the handle will sit a little lower. But I'm gonna, like I was saying, I'm gonna replace these with bolts and nuts, and maybe that'll help. I'll show you the finished product in a minute. Oh, there it is. Got it installed. Got it. Got the nuts instead of those little weak bolts. And on the back side, I let them go all the way through and actually put a nut on it and got a little bit of Loctite on there. So this one is not coming off. I ain't got to worry about this thing vibrating loose. Everything's back together. No, it ain't. Now everything is back together. That panel right there, you might have noticed, wasn't in. Got ahead of myself. But everything is in. I didn't think y'all might not want to see that whole reinstallation. And this thing too works. Not many of them do, but mine does. But I did have to fix it though. It wasn't working when I first got it. But everything's together. So tomorrow we're gonna go on a test drive and see how this transmission performs. See if it does what I wanted to do. It wasn't real bad before, but it was grinding, like I was saying, in second and fourth gear when it was cold, and every now and then in fourth gear, just whenever. Well, now we're gonna transition to tomorrow. All right, now let's see if this thing has gotten any better. Everything's all put together, everything's installed, and now it comes to test. Let's see if everything works out like I wanted it to. Here we go. We're gonna check out this this transmission, see how good it's running. And so far so good. And those that might want to know, I got was it Royal Purple in the transmission. That's just because the roads are wet. It's trying to rain a little bit. I don't know if you heard that, it grinded a little bit going into fifth. But we know that ain't good. So far the way it's looking, it's gonna have to come back out and get something done with that fifth gear. I don't know if it's the shimming or what, but it's definitely got to be looked at. And my speedo gauge is reading that I'm with doing exactly 60. I'm actually doing like 55, 56. And I think that might be because of my tire size probably. Which is a lot better, because the best I could do before was like 10 over. So now at 5 is a whole lot better. And I'm thinking I'm running 373 gears in the rear end. At least that's what I was told about the transmission when I got it. I guess, but for right now, until I get back to the house, I'll see y'all in a minute. Well, as you can see, back at the house. Yeah, that's disappointing. After all that work was put in, trying to get that thing done and all that, now it's got to come back out. But well, that's how it goes, you know. But until next time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notifications bell so you can get that fresh stuff when it comes out, and we'll see you later.